Greetings comic lovers and welcome back to Casually Comics, the channel where we chat all things comics, from reviews of comics new and old to history to anecdotes to wherever our whims take us. And today we're going to Whim City. So last time we did one of our meet the and then insert character videos where we get to see the first canonical appearance of a character. Not the series where we take a look at the behind the scenes of their creation, that's different. However, the last person we did was the Riddler, who didn't do a lot of riddling, instead he did a lot of puzzling, lots of puzzles. So I made a joke that he should be called the Puzzler, because that's the kind of A-list material you can expect here on Casually Comics. Well, a commenter, Will Day, pointed out that actually there was already a Puzzler, and that he had appeared in the Golden Age back in 1942. So of course, I had to investigate. A chance to meet the real true Puzzler, the one and only, actually not the one and only, but the first, I couldn't pass that up. So I looked into it, and he's using the wrong name too. So let's take a look for why there's still room for me to be the Puzzler. But first, if you've got your villain name all mapped out, hit that like button. So the Puzzler first appeared in Action Comics number 49 back in 1942. So get ready for classic Superman action as Superman encounters his newest and cleverest opponent, the Puzzler, according to the cover. Also, the Puzzler's not on the cover. That should tell you something right there. He has no costume. Strike one. Also, the opening page describes him as a rascal. Strike two. So Clark Kent is with Lois Lane at a ping pong competition, because it's a slow news day in Metropolis, I guess. But Clark notices that something is off with the ball, so he changes into Superman and plays ping pong with himself so he can palm the ball, and the fact that he gets to show off in front of Lois, that's just a bonus. He also manages to upstage the champion, Carl Prentice, and when he takes the ball outside, it explodes. Lois and Clark then learn that there was a threat made against the ping pong champion, Carl Prentice, by none other than the Puzzler. Why? Because why not? Take that, ping pong enthusiasts. Despite not knowing who the Puzzler is, Clark decides that this ping pong messiah may still be in peril, so stakes him out. I think he just wanted to avoid having to go back to the Daily Planet and write up the story about the ping pong tournament. Clark likes to pick and choose his stories. Thankfully, he's right, and there's a bullseye painted onto Carl Prentice's car. That was hard to say for some reason. Carl is just like, dang kids, I'm still gonna get in and drive anyway. It's not like this town is full of supervillains or something like that. Youths. But the bullseye is really a marker for the Puzzler. Got real guttural there, the Puzzler. His henchmen are laying in wait, cuz take that, Carl Prentice. Ha! Clever guy, the Puzzler. Firstly, no, not really. He painted a bullseye. Secondly, an exploding ping pong ball and a target. Not puzzles. Superman saves Carl Prentice, who we will never see again, and then takes the henchmen to prison where they are broken out by the Puzzler, and we finally get our first look at this dastardly villain who has such great plans as painting bullseyes on the sides of cars. And he's a Dr. Hugo Strange knockoff in a purple suit. And I can say that because Hugo Strange first debuted in 1940, and he stuck around. So there, Puzzler. I'm really hung up on the fact that the reason he was trying to kill Carl Prentice was never explained. There's not even a token, he stole my ping pong dream or anything. It's just nothing. Why? Ping pong's not a puzzle. He then sends a note for Clark Kent to come interview him and signs it the Puzzler. Lois gets the note and instead of alerting the police, decides that the tea is too hot for Clark to get, so decides to go and take the interview for herself. So we get the Puzzler's life story. A genius at solving puzzles, I decided to utilize the principles that win games to launch a crime campaign unrivaled in history, that I've been successful as a testament to my brilliance. Yeah, this is gonna be a great article, a real page turner. Then he kidnaps her, cause I mean, that's Superman comic book etiquette. So Superman has to go get her, but wait, not even the Man of Steel is prepared for the ultimate puzzle. The Puzzler was waiting to challenge Superman to a game of checkers. Ladies and gentlemen, the gamer. You had one job, Puzzler. One. A battle of wits, eh? I accept. I love it. Other heroes are playing chess, and Clark is literally playing checkers. And so it begins, one of the most fateful games of checkers the world has ever known. My God, will a man who could kill you just by looking at you win at this game of checkers? He plays it at super speed, so he does. Truly, I was on the edge of my seat. I love that the Puzzler calls himself a checkers expert. Well then you should have tried to blow up a checkers tournament, not a ping pong tournament. Missed opportunity. Also, there's this panel of Lois saying the puzzler got away, but he's right there. So I spent several panels waiting for his prison escape, only to realize it was a poorly dubbed panel, and he was never supposed to have gone there. No, he was still on the loose, puzzling away. The puzzler sends Lois another letter that Clark intercepts and sends him on this wild goose chase of finding puzzle pieces, and there's traps attached to them, but of course they don't kill him because he's Superman. There's things like quicksand and poison, but none of it matters because, again, Superman. The real plot picks up again when the puzzler begins kidnapping people with last names like chess pieces. And no, Clark's not gonna play chess. Don't be silly. He's already bested the puzzler in the true game of intellectuals. Ping pong. So Superman x-rays his way to the puzzler's secret lair, and well, he's kidnapped Lois again, because of course. And this time, he challenges Superman to a true puzzle. A game of poker with him and his henchmen. Does the puzzler just not have people to game with, and this is just his really elaborate way of getting a group of people together to game with him? He needs to set up a meetup group. The Flash looks like he plays board games. Maybe the puzzler should just move cities. Clark manages to convince the henchmen that the puzzler has been cheating them by using his x-ray vision. This all leads to our denouement, with the puzzler trying to flee by climbing up a bridge and being surprised when Superman follows him, ready to trot along to his cell like a good little boy. I miss sassy Superman. I like to imagine that he still says and does things like this, but just he's too far away for people to hear him. The puzzler decides he would rather die than be taken alive. So yeah, that's what happens. Taking the coward's way out, eh? Superman is ice cold. And of course he manages to write the story up before Lois, so she declares that that is the true puzzle. Yet another villain not living up to their name. Puzzler, just why? You had ample opportunity. There was one puzzle, but it was clearly there for padding. But what really doesn't work about the puzzler, aside from his upsetting lack of costume, is who he is pitted against. Clark's not stupid, contrary to popular belief, but he's also very strong. So strong that oftentimes a battle of wits stops mattering. He can fly through walls, he can see through them too, he can survive almost anything. So really it doesn't matter. It's an unequal matchup. It's bringing a checkers board to a ping pong match. You can make Superman have extremely intelligent opponents. Just look at Lex. But you can't have him going toe to toe with him like this. It's not exactly his MO. You have to hit it through a more roundabout fashion. I know some of you are thinking about Mr. Mitzel-Plicklick, but that's different. That's more a battle of annoyance. So yeah, a story where your Superman plays checkers with his opponent isn't exactly the best use of your Superman. You could tell this story, but you have to work a lot harder to pull it off. So I, for one, am glad I met the puzzler. I'm now more convinced than ever that I can live up to this name. I don't even need puzzles. There's no pressure. There have been 2 other puzzlers since, but I could take them. I'm Sasha, and thanks so much for watching Casually Comics. Please do all of the YouTube things. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell notification so that you never miss a vid. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye.